Welcome to Your Skin, Your Story by Diyah. And today I have my lovely mom here with me as we're going to talk about a little controversial topic, but we're not making it controversial as we tap into religion versus spirituality. We've been through different stages and phases, and we just want to explore that and share our journey with you. Feel free to engage in the comments and join into this conversation. So, Mom, I know that watching you grow up, you've been through different stages of spirituality as well as experiencing different religions. I remember prior to me being born and you telling the stories of being a Christian and growing up in the church. And then while you were pregnant with me, you also became Islam and you gave me a Muslim name. And then from there on, I know that we practice Baha'i faith, which is one of the oldest religions there are, more so on the spiritual side. And then we became very much so spiritual. So I wanted you to kind of talk about your journey and how was spirituality or religion introduced to you? Where did your journey begin?
Well, hello everyone. Like she said, I'm her mom, and spirituality was introduced to me as a young child. Growing up, I was always talked to from my mom about, spirituality, and she used to tell us Bible stories and, different stuff like that, and help us with each step in experiences that we're going through in life. She always made sure that we put God first, and told us to make sure that whatever we do, always have put God in the mix of it all. So spirituality came to me as a young child, and as I got older, the phases just changed.
And when the phases had changed, what was it that had you change? Was it like a experience or some type of knowledge? What was that point that you have, was able to just pivot? Because I know most of the time people don't just wake up out their sleep and just change their faith or religion. So what was it about what you were going through during that time that had you transfer from being a Christian to Islam and then Islam to Baha'i faith and spirituality?
Just testing the waters. Just wanted to test the waters and just knew that God is in anything you do. So regardless if it's religion, spirituality, as long as I felt one with God, and in the religions, I tested it out to see if that was something that the vibe and energy was there. So as my mom was going through her different journeys and changes in her life, she was trying out different religions and her spiritual journey, and I pretty much followed. And we realized through each one we gained something from each. Knowledge is key, and so just being able to gain knowledge was a way that we just stayed connected with God.
I love that. It's almost like, they say soul searching, where you're just pretty much trying to figure out what resonates with you and to be alignment with God. So what would you say was the most resonated experience that you had, whether if it was through a religion or a spirituality? Which one made you feel more in tune with your higher self and with God?
The one that made me feel more in tune and my higher self would be spirituality. Because when I was going through different religions, I tried Muslim, Christianity as a child. And, I've been to a Baptist church, all type of stuff. And so when I was going through that, I didn't feel connected with people when I was actually practicing religion. It was more or less I was getting bad vibes from people and being treated in a way that I didn't feel was godly when I was into religion. But once I went through, different phases as I got older and switched over to spirituality, I realized that it wasn't about, you know, listening to what man had to say. It was more or less listening to what, the within yourself. You go deeper within yourself, and it's not about the outside and the external things. It was more within. You go within when it's spirituality. You go within yourself, and that's where you get more in tune and connected with God within you. So that's the difference that I noticed, because with religion, I realized that it was more or less following man and, going by what man felt was the right way to live. And it wasn't me going within myself and learning, with God within me.
I love that. So in a way, it's not even that. I know most people look at it as religion versus spirituality, where I've also came across few people who was actually like, no, spirituality is a way of life, and religion is what I subscribe to because of its principles and the foundation that it has. So I know that there's a lot of people in different types of cultures and religion who still claim to be spiritual. And I know recently for myself, I went to church for the first time in my adult life, actually experiencing like service and going to church, being a member of a church. Shout out to Change Church. And for me, I didn't ever think I will be able to subscribe to a church, be a member of a church, because of me being a spiritual person, and also me going within. And I know for me, what going within looked at like was meditating, working out, and taking better care of myself mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And, doing all of the things where versus in some religions, they don't really practice those types of things. They just follow the foundation of what the word says in the Bible, and even think that meditation and yoga and such is demonic. But it really comes from our ancestors, ancient Kemet times, before there was ever any man-made religion or religion that we followed. It was first spirituality. And I do believe in that we're we're spirits having a human experience. So we are all connected in that sense. And it's not just one-sided. You must, take care of your physical being as well as your spiritual self. And I don't really know. I have a different perspective on how I view, spirituality. I do feel like people can still be of their religion, but yet spiritual people. And not everyone in their religion necessarily even follows everything within their religion, as no one is perfect, right? So although I'm not Christian, I do accept the Lord into my heart, and I do believe in God. I believe in Jesus. But for you, what is your take on how you see spirituality and religion now that you've been through these different phases of your life where you actually experience both? What's your take on it?
My take on spirituality is that I believe in the Lord too, but I believe more like the Lord is more of our brother, and as we are one with the Lord Savior Jesus, and the God within us, just like I feel as though He had the God within Him. So me with spirituality is just oneness with God, oneness with the Lord, oneness with the God within. So just like the religion believed that is the God, the Father, and the Son. I believe with spirituality is that's the oneness with God, the Father, and the Son. I mean, it's all like it's just the one. It's just togetherness, one with nature, one with humans, with us all. We're all just one with God. There should be no separation. I don't see separation. I don't see division. I don't see divisions in how some people divide churches and they divide different religions. They say, Judaism and Buddhism and, the different religions is separate. But as far as spirituality is looked at, that's all one. Because if it's God, it's all one.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people are actually becoming more conscious and aware of that concept. The fact that, even is in Muslim religion and Christian religion, pretty much we all serve a higher God, a higher entity, a higher force. And it does make it all one. If you really break it down, we are all created from a higher source, a higher power, if that's what you believe. And I do believe religion has made it so that way society and people in general separate and stay segregated in one another. But that's what I love so much about Baha'i faith. When we did practice Baha'i faith is actually one of the oldest practices in spirituality and religion. But Baha'i faith was basically like, come as you are. We are one. Doesn't matter if you were a Christian, a Muslim, Buddhism. It didn't matter what religion or ethnicity it was that you had or believed in. It was more so of togetherness and coming together and giving praise and loving God and being in alignment and being a good person.
And one more in the community and not really in the churches and stuff. It's more out in the community, working out in the community, helping our youth and the people out in the community.
Absolutely. And I love that so much because it's like, be the change that you want to see in the world. And whether or not we believe in karma, I do believe in energy. And I know that what you put out is what you will get back one way or another. And it's universal law. So with that being said, this was just a quick little conversation regarding spirituality and religion. Make sure to check out our full interview on YouTube where me and my mom is talking about breaking generational curses. And also make sure to subscribe to this podcast. We'll be uploading every week at 6 a.m. on Wednesday. So thank you for tuning in. And until next time, this was Your Skin and Your Story.